Honestly, May was a surprisingly busy month for GBA ROM hacks. I've spent quite a bit of time with most of them, and I've narrowed it down to 5 that I think are definitely worth checking out. Starting off with Pokémon Chosen Red. Think Radical Red, but with a massive focus on story. Instead of just another Kanto run, it treats your Pokémon like actual characters and makes you feel like you were, well, chosen for the journey. The narrative here is actually really smart. It's inspired by the old Pokémon Yellow, so you start with Pikachu while your rival takes Eevee. But the coolest part is how you get your team. The Kanto starters actually stalk you. They follow you through the world before they decide you're worthy to lead them. It makes assembling Red's canon team feel emotionally irreplaceable, rather than just catching data in the grass. Since the base is Radical Red, you're getting all the technical goodness. Full Gen 9 Pokédex, Mega Evolutions, and the physical special split. But the real win for me was the minimal grind mode. You get that famous high-level difficulty, but without the tedious training. Plus, the Dex Nav makes tracking down specific team members a total breeze. Honestly, we don't often see projects using the Radical Red engine as a base for a deep story. I think it's one of the greatest ideas, because the engine already brings so many modern features to the table. Seriously, more ROM hackers should follow this lead. If you want a game that's mechanically perfect, but actually has a heart, you should really give Chosen Red a try. If you're looking for something you can play, well, basically forever, this is it. Pokémon Emerald Rogue completely flips the series on its head by turning it into a roguelite. It's not about following a set story anymore. It's about seeing how far you can get in a world that randomizes every single time you step outside. The gameplay loop here is seriously addictive. You head out on a run, and if you lose, you're sent back to this persistent hub area. I spent way too much time just building up my base and unlocking new NPCs to help with my next attempt. My favorite part has to be the Safari Zone, where you can actually catch Pokémon you used in previous runs to use as your next starter. It makes every failed run feel like it was actually worth it. Now, the content side is incredible. It's already got ZA content, including the new Megas and a dedicated ZA Pokédex. But the real game changer for me was the battle overlay. Being able to see field hazards, weather, and stat buffs right on the screen is something I wish the official games would actually do. It also has a 1 in 100 shiny rate, so you're almost guaranteed to find some rare colors during your adventures. In my opinion, Emerald Rogue is probably the most innovative hack I've played in years. It's perfect if you want a quick session, or if you want to challenge yourself with some high-stakes strategy. It even has character customization, with Team Plasma and Flare outfits. If you want a version of Pokémon that stays fresh, no matter how many times you play it, you definitely need to give this a try. Moving on to Pokémon Emerald Azure. Now, this isn't just another Emerald remaster. It's a completely original story, with new regions, and it takes some major inspiration from games like Reborn and Radical Red. What really caught my eye were the custom variants. There are over 150 new forms, and 9 new evolutions. I actually heard they took some inspiration from games like Pokémon Insurgents. You know, with the Delta Pokémon? Well, it's a similar vibe here. The story is also pretty wild. It involves every single evil organization from the series, all clashing in one huge narrative. It makes the world feel, I don't know, way more chaotic and alive than a standard game. Now, the difficulty is no joke. It uses those complex field effects you see in games like Reborn, like the Fairy Tale or Rocky Terrain. The AI is actually designed to predict your moves several turns ahead, but thankfully, they included infinite candies and EV editing from anywhere, so you can focus entirely on the strategy rather than the grind. Honestly, Emerald Azure is just impressive. It's rare to find an original story hack that also has this level of mechanical polish. It even has a Stardew Valley-style fishing minigame. If you're looking for a fresh, high-difficulty journey that feels, well, brand new, that gets updated a lot, you definitely have to give this a try. It's one of those projects where you can really feel the effort. So, next is Pokémon Ruby's Ruin, and honestly, it's probably the most intense way I've ever played through Hoenn. It's a full-on trash lock, which basically means you're stuck with the weakest Pokémon in the game, just trying to survive these massive gauntlets. The difficulty here is on another level. You start with the choice between Lileep, Tyrogue, or Zubat. It sounds impossible at first, but it forces you to look at the game differently. There are no healing items in battle, and setup moves like Dragon Dance have been heavily nerfed. Every victory feels earned, because you're winning with Pokemon you'd normally just leave in the PC. What really changes the flow are the gauntlets. Once you step onto a route or into a gym, you cannot leave or heal until every single trainer is defeated. It's intense, but the developer was smart about it. They added free EXP and move relearners in every Pokemon Center, so the focus stays purely on your strategy, rather than just grinding levels for hours. From my time with it, what I loved was how rewarding it feels. We see so many hacks that just buff the AI, but Ruby's Ruin actually changes how you play the game by limiting your resources. If you're tired of the same old Nuzlockes and want a challenge that feels, I don't know, genuinely fresh, you definitely need to give this one a try. It's brutal, but in the best way possible. Now, before we get to the top spot, I have to give a quick honorable mention to Pokemon Iria's Chronicles. Honestly, the atmosphere here is just incredible. It's a dark medieval world inspired by northern Italy, and it uses this unique class-based system where your Pokemon act like monks, rogues, or even paladins. Keep in mind, it's only a short demo right now, but it gives you a perfect taste of how the final game is going to look and feel. If you want a quest-driven story that feels totally unique, you definitely need to keep this on your radar. Finally, we've reached my #1 pick for the month, Pokemon Amethyst. I'm actually playing through this one right now, and honestly, it is incredible. It has that super polished, high-quality vibe you get from legendary hacks like Pokemon Dreams or Elysium. It takes place in a brand new region called Kulur, and from the moment you start, it just feels like a classic in the making. The story is getting really interesting too, focusing on an original plot centered around wishes. But what I love most is how the world is designed. The biome diversity is huge, and there's a ton of side content to get lost in. The gyms are also a major highlight. Instead of just focusing on one type, they focus on synergies. So you're fighting weather teams, terrain teams. It forces you to actually think about your strategy, rather than just spamming a super effective move. My favorite thing about this game so far has to be the side quests. There is just a crazy amount of side content to get lost in. I actually just finished a quest in a haunted mansion, and I won't spoil anything, but the way they handled the lore and the discovery in there was honestly impressive. It's those little hidden stories that make the region feel so much more alive. You're not just rushing to the next gym, you actually want to explore every building just to see what you'll find. The coolest part about Amethyst? The developer is still releasing new fixes and updates, basically every single day. Between the massive post-game Ultra episode and the title defense system, there is just so much value here. I'm calling it now. I think this might potentially be one of the top 5 ROM hacks of the year, just saying. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps me a lot. Also, comment down below, which game are you going to play from this list? I'd love to hear what you guys think.